Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a proper look at the Conspit 300 GT sim racing wheel. And this is a wheel that's been talked about a lot recently, mostly because of how much it actually offers for the money. It's got a carbon construction, an integrated dashboard, wireless support with the Conspit bases, and a pretty aggressive feature list for the price. Quick disclaimer before we start though, I got this wheel from RacingShop.se in Sweden, and there's a link in the description that gives you 10% off everything in their store, not just this wheel. So if you're looking at Conspit gear or anything else in racing, both real racing or sim racing, definitely make sure to check them out. Now, this wheel does a lot of things really well, but there's also a few things you should be aware of before buying it. So let's just get into it. The Conspit 300 GT sits firmly in the mid-range GT wheel category. It's not trying to compete with the 1200 to 1500 euro boutique wheels, but it's also a clear step above the entry-level GT wheels. You're getting a carbon fiber construction wheel with an integrated dashboard. It's got lots of inputs, wireless compatibility with Conspit bases, and it offers a one software ecosystem. So on paper it looks great, especially for the money that you're paying. But as always, the real question is, and will always be, how does it actually feel when you drive with it? And that is what I will try to give my input on in this video. But first off, let's start with the pricing. In Europe, where I'm based, the pricing for the Conspit 300 GT typically sits around 450 euros, give or take, depending on the retailer. At that price point, it's competing with mid-range cube control wheels, Simagic GT style wheels, and the Fanatic Club Sport type of wheels. So expectations are already fairly high, and I would say it's rightly so. With that said, let's quickly cover the important specs, so no spec dumping like always. And the diameter of the wheel is 300mm. It has a carbon fiber front plate with a composite housing. It is very lightweight for a GT wheel. It's got 8 RGB push buttons. It's got 3 12 position rotary encoders. It's got 4 thumb encoders and 2 7-way funky switches. It comes with a 3-inch integrated dashboard, and if you want to be precise, it's 2.99 inches. In terms of connectivity, it connects wireless with Conspit bases or via USB cable with other bases. It uses the Conspit Link app for everything, but it also has SimHub integration for the LEDs only. So on paper, this is a complete package which brings us up to build quality and the first impressions. And let's talk honestly about how this wheel feels in the hand. Yes, it is carbon fiber, but compared to the more expensive wheels or like even a mid-range tube controls wheel, it can feel a bit more plasticky. Not cheap, not bad, just lighter and kind of less dense. And that directly affects how the wheel behaves on track. If you love super lightweight wheels, you'll probably enjoy this wheel a lot. And if you're like me and prefer a little bit of weight for inertia and stability, you'll notice that difference immediately. And that brings me to force feedback and the track feel, the most important thing I would say. At moderate torque levels, the 300 GT feels really good. It's responsive, sharp, it lets plenty of detail come through, and it's very quick in the direction changes. But once you start pushing higher Newton meter levels, then things change. Because of the wheel is so light, strong force feedback spikes can be a bit violent. It is very fast to react. Like the wheel can snap on you in high load situations. This isn't necessarily a flaw, it's a characteristic of lightweight wheels in general. Personally, I prefer some extra mass to kind of smooth out those spikes and add inertia. That just feels more natural to me. But what does this mean in real life? Well, realistically, 8 to 12 Newton feels great. 15 newtons and up, you'll want to be careful with tuning. Take your time to dial it in properly, and then it's a very enjoyable wheel. I'm not comfortable driving at higher force feedback than 10 to 11 Newton, but there it feels really good. But what about other functions of the wheel, like the dashboard? When I first tested the wheel, the dashboard wasn't my favorite part due to it was really basic. It showed all the info, but it didn't look too fun, if you understand what I mean. It has no custom SimHub dashboards, only RGB controls through SimHub, and the screen felt a little bit underutilized. But this has now changed though, thanks to an update from Conspit. With the latest Conspit Link update, Conspit added some new built-in dashboard, most importantly, a lovely dashboard in the Conspit software. And that for me is amazing. This turns the screen from something that felt a bit gimmicky into a proper racing tool. For me, this update alone makes the wheel significantly better than it was at launch. Next part of the wheel is the feel and layout of buttons and encoders. And the button layout, it's solid and logical, it's easy to reach, and it's well suited for GT racing. It works very well once muscle memory kicks in. The buttons and encoders feel good, not ultra premium, but absolutely fitting for the price, and then some. The rotaries and encoders feel well made, not cheap and flimsy like they sometimes can do. And in terms of connectivity, one thing I really like with this is if you use this wheel with a Conspit base, then it works completely wirelessly. No cable, no hassle, just mount it on the base and go. And that, folks, that is a true quality of life improvement. If you use other bases like Simucube or Simagic, it works perfectly via USB as well, so you're not locked into the ecosystem. You actually get in the box a hub with a USB output as well, so that's neat. And speaking of USB and all, let's talk about the Conspit Link software. It is clean, simple, easy to understand, except when it comes to calibrating like clutches, paddles and so. It is super simple. It's so simple that it actually isn't described how to do it, so keep that in mind. It's not as advanced as the Simucube tuner, but it's improving. And with the recent dashboard updates, it's clear that Conspit actively is listening to feedback. And that's a good sign in my opinion. But as always in my videos, let's go through some of the pros and some of the cons with this wheel. And let's start with the positives. This wheel gives good force feedback detail at sensible torque levels. It's lightweight and very responsive. It has an integrated dashboard that now actually is useful thanks to the lovely dashboard being added. It works wirelessly with Conspit bases and USB support for the other bases. It really has a strong feature set for the price. The size 300mm is good for a lot of GT racing. And lastly, it has a clean and logical layout. But as always, no matter how great a wheel is, there's always going to be some cons. And here are some of the honest downsides from my perspective. One of the positives is also a con. It is very lightweight, which can feel aggressive at high force feedbacks. It gives off less inertia than a heavier GT wheel. The carbon construction can feel a bit plastic compared to pricier wheels with thicker carbon fiber front plates and so on. Button and encoder feel is an ultra premium. They are good, don't get me wrong, but you still miss that last bit of tactile stimuli. And lastly, it's not ideal if you like heavy inertia-rich wheels. With that said though, who is the Conspit 300 GT for? And I would say that the 300 GT is a great choice if you want a modern GT wheel with a dashboard, you prefer lightweight responsive steering, you run your base at moderate torque levels, you're already in or considering the Conspit ecosystem and value wireless convenience. And lastly, you want strong features without spending over 1200 euros for a wheel. If you, on the other hand, love heavy wheels with lots of inertia, run very high torque all the time and want the most premium materials possible, then I would look elsewhere. So to sum this video up, where do I land on the 300 GT? I would say that the Conspit 300 GT is a good wheel, and with recent software update, it's a much better wheel now than it was at launch. I still personally prefer wheels with a bit more weight, but I completely understand why a lot of people really like this wheel. Tune the force feedback properly, don't overdo the torque, and it delivers a very enjoyable and engaging driving experience. So if you're interested in the Conspit 300 GT, remember I got mine from RacingShop.se. There is a 10% discount link in the description that works on everything in their store. Just click and browse for their assortment. It is a great store. As I hinted in the video, there will be a review of the Conspit Airs Platinum 20Nm wheelbase coming very soon, so make sure you're subscribed if you don't want to miss that. Drop a comment, let me know what you think about lightweight GT wheels, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.